NewGenGamers.com.
Perhaps if Star Fox 2 could have made it out and been a big hit, maybe things would have been different, but
at this point, it's more a subpar series.
yeah, it's just another series for Nintendo at this point.
They didn't do with Star Fox what they did with Metroid and completely, like, make it a 3D standard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they didn't. I don't know, whatever it is Nintendo does, where they bring a series up to the next level, but
And this game,
just keep that thing. I don't know.
This game was so new at the time too. This is one of the first 3D games, or attempting 3D. And now, it's old news. We've seen it. We're not going to be impressed by. And they keep trying to put in niche things such as having ground levels and such, but honestly, it doesn't work because we've seen it all.
I think it was just a matter of this game when it came out at the time. Because,
yeah, right time, right place.
Yeah, it was one of the few good 3D games at the time, and in a time when there was a million of these types of shooter games on the market, it really stood above with the gameplay. Yeah, you see right here, Ray's played it one time now, and you get down the levels, you know where stuff's going to be, and you get really good at it.
The other thing is, this entry in the series, being the first, is very mature compared to the later entries, where it became more cartoony. This game has a very mature feeling.
Yeah, it really does.
A very dark ambience to it.
A feeling of impending space doom.
Exactly, whereas the new games are more cartoony and like, oh, we're in danger, but we're furry creatures, so what's it matter?
Yeah. Kind of like the Sonic series took a downturn that way as well. So we've seen that a couple with some of the 16-bit icons, where they've kind of been kiddified because they've been called kiddie for so long. Mm-hmm. You're not, ripping someone's head off.
They're just cashing in on nostalgia is all they're doing. And, if they don't keep the heart of the game, then that's all it becomes.
And this is an intense battle right here. Look at this.
Yeah, these boss battles are very epic.
And later games in the series, they would have the bosses talk to you. But right now, you're isolated. You're fighting an enemy.
This thing.
Oh! I was right there.
You needed to shoot your bomb, Ray.
Oh.
If you would have just used that bomb.
Like I was at the very beginning. Alright.
Alright, well that's Star Fox.
Yeah, that was
definitely a great game.
I'll have to try this some more later.
Yeah, I can't believe you missed this one, Ray. So if anyone else has missed this one, as you can see, Ray definitely enjoyed it.
Let us move on.
Recommended by Ray.
Yes, it is. Okay. Here we're continuing on with Earthworm Jim. Alright, go ahead.
There he is.
There's the worm.
This is from Shiny Entertainment, who would later bring us Wild 9 for the PlayStation, also Enter the Matrix, which we don't want to discuss too much here.
Yeah.
Stop bringing it up, Ray.
Sorry, it deserves to be.
Everyone's tried to erase that horrible game from their memory.
Now, see, in the mid '90s, it seemed like everyone had Earthworm Jim fever in every sense. I remember there was a cartoon series, I remember there were toys for the games, toys for the TV.
Yeah,
it got a little out of control.
They promoted the crap out of it.
It's because of the game design, though. It really is satirical and goofy.
Much like
you have to save Princess What's Her Name. I love that because every time it's goddamn. Who cares about the princess? So in this one, they're like, her name is Princess What's Her Name. And little clever jokes like that made this a lot of fun.
And what eventually ended up killing the license was the third game in this series, which isn't a bad game. It's a very
different... a third one?
Yeah, Earthworm Jim 3D. It's a very different title. It's definitely keeps the comedy aspect of the game, but it doesn't play as well as a 3D game should because they moved it to 3D.
Some 3D ones that they made.
Some games should not be made in 3D.
Mega Man.
Castlevania should not be made in 3D.
Yeah, Castlevania and Mega Man are two that I would think. Yeah. Mega Man might work as a first-person shooter. I don't know.
It's the design. you know, and if you just have a general platforming type experience that moves quickly, sometimes it's hard to get that feel in 3D. And you know,
Earthworm Jim is definitely all about the comedy, about, you know, the wacky things that are happening in this world. I mean, you're an earthworm in a spacesuit or whatever this is.
So would you say that Earthworm Jim was kind of a parody game?
oh, absolutely, yeah, that's what it brought to the table. You know, it's another platforming game for the Super NES and Genesis, but it had some cool character design and elements that made it different
And
enough.
Ray brought this up earlier. Which is the better version, the Super Nintendo version or the Genesis version? And I feel the Super Nintendo version has brighter colors, you know, compared to the Genesis version, which is very dulled down.
Now that
that
I'm seeing
aspect.
the Super Nintendo version in action, I'm going to have
Yeah.
to give it to the Super Nintendo
Yeah,
version.
the sound quality is good.
Ray's eating a sandwich.
Yeah, I sound a little bit muffled. I'm hungry. Retro games make me hungry.
Ray needs retro.
That T-shirt. That should be a T-shirt. Come on. With Ray's face on it, a thumbs up.
Ray
and a
needs
sandwich.
retro.
But back to Earthworm Jim. If he was eating a hot dog, that would be very appropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, even just the earthworm character, he's an earthworm that got inside of a super
pain in the
space suit that made him extra special powered, you know.
This game
Something.
is definitely hard.
It's hard as hell.
I remember when I was a kid playing it, and you get to the point where you're in the water levels.
Yeah.
Being
That's
chasing-
kind of cool.
Oh man, it was.
See his
awful.
face?
There's a lot of places where it's almost impossible to avoid getting hit, which is part of the frustration of this game.
Now I'm noticing some of the comedy aspects, like when he was pulling back on the wire, he kind of looked like
Oh
Rambo.
yeah, the character animation.
Everything,
Excellent.
yeah, everything in the game has some sort of subtle little joke in it. When he pulls himself up on the chain there, he grabs his ass, pulls his butt up, I don't know, whatever you want to say.
Look, he looks like Rambo doing that. He's
Yeah, they're very over the top with this, and I've noticed that all of Shiny's games are kind of that way, and that's Dave Perry is a very obscure guy. I've seen a press photo of him with a chimp. Like, what is he hanging out with chimps for?
He
you
does
know?
though. That's
He
they
does.
give him these ideas.
the can
Yes.
of Wax from Wild 9.
Yeah, Wild 9 is a very goofy title, which if you check out our PlayStation Console Wars of the Past video, you can see that. So, you know, Dave Perry's still innovating and has some new stuff coming up, some sort of music and beat game. I'm not sure exactly what that'll be, but this is the one that really put Shiny on the map.
It almost feels like you're playing a Looney Tunes cartoon.
That's what
It
I
really
was
is, yeah, it really has that kind of slapstick, over-the-top cartoony comedy that's
It's Chuck
it's
Jones-ish.
fun. Yeah,
Yeah,
there you go. Chuck Jones-ish.
That should be yeah, that's his own thing.
It is. It really is.
Oh, I saw that movie yesterday. It was very Chuck Jones-ish.
It's kind of a silly, satirical parody.
And an excellent platform.
What is that, a rat?
It's a redneck.
Yeah, you're fighting the redneck here from the junkyard. You know,
It spits out fish?
it's
Whoa, all rednecks do.
Nice.
all the ones I know.
All the ones I know spit out fish. I don't know. You sounded surprised. Anyhow.
You're from West Virginia, Ray. Come on, you know this.
I always thought they spit out beer.
Well, let us
That's-
move on.
Yes.
Okay.
This is the story of Earthworm Jim video game. In outer space, a sweet evil cyborg lost a green cyberspace suit. Well, it smooshes. But in a slimy Earthworm Jim, and blammo, he becomes a superpowered hero. He takes out that precious dog. Then that stupid worm goes onto the planet X. He even tries mucus spongy jumping.
And if that doesn't stop him, maybe the battle with Queen festering sweaty slug for a butt will. Earthworm Jim rumbling.
NewGenGamers.com.